Happy 2021, everybody. Welcome to Banner and Chance. This is our first meetup of the new year. So happy new year, everybody. A little bit belated. So we are going to continue on with our story tonight. And when we've got a lot of things that we want to get caught up on, we've got a lot of things that I think are exciting and happening. We just finished off a major battle with the Hags. We'll talk about that in a minute. But in the meantime, I'll just ask to go around the room. Let's go Shady, Luna, Becca, and Noelle. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Shady. I play Runt. She is a young human rogue.
I'm Luna. I play Geen. She is a human Kensei monk.
I'm Becca. I play Bee. She is a Shatterkai Twilight Cleric.
And what's up, guys? I play Rook. I am a Shatterkai Rogue Bard.
So, here we go. I guess we're going to talk about and bring us up to speed on what happened last time on Banner and Chance. So, we finally came to this island, the island of Bertha, after several, hundreds of leagues traveled. The party found themselves there. They aligned with a group of lost children that were hell-bent on destroying this hag coven. By looking around the island, our party learned that this was a lunar nexus. In fact, it was a place of great magic that had been coveted for years by worshippers of moon goddesses, and later had been acquired and taken over by evil forces. And now this hag coven was there, and they were stealing the souls of children and placing them into silver mirrors. Something that we had seen much earlier. The adventurers had found a temple to the moon, to this elven moon goddess, and realizing that just being there had supercharged the weapons in their possession and the magic that Althebes could wield, and the various blessings that were upon them, they assaulted the keep of this hag coven, and they laid waste. I mean, it was something else. There was big bombs coming in on this rather formidable structure, to the point where 2 of the hags were killed, the children were rescued, and Nanny Bertha was almost taken out, but then escaped, jumping through a dimension door with the Oni. At the end of that, having dispatched the skeletal warriors that were in front of them, the party was able to gather up all but one of the children that had been lost. And now they led them up through the rocky crags towards the beach, where the ship, the Dancing Sword, was waiting to ferry them back to Harrowdale. But upon arriving at that beach, nothing was there. There was no boat. The realization that they would have to swim back to Harrowdale was just starting to set in. And that's where we're going to pick things up. This is episode 27, titled Blood and Water. Party, you are
29.
29. Everybody drink.
Oh.
Is that a smoothie?
Good start.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, it's my hydro.
Okay, I'm so confused. I was like, that is the neon pinkest smoothie I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, moving on.
You are standing on this rocky shore. All but Runt, has seen this place before. This is where you came onto the island. In front of you is the water, and off to your right is this large, rocky cliff that heads off into the water. Rook, when you had piloted the boat in here, you were doing so under the knowledge that the Shadow's Glint had swung in behind this rocky structure, and you decided to hit the brakes, drop anchor, and swing into this little rough alcove. Now you're standing there, children all around you, milling around. And the one thing that you can see that's out of place is over this rise, you can see a thick column of white and black smoke rising just over the crest of this hill, where you can see the path where you first saw the obnoxious little Clarissa Subtle standing. This column of smoke is directly over the path.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a quick run for it up to the top of where I can crest and see what's over there.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna drink some of the water because I'm still very tired.
Okay. This is the water in your flasks.
Yep. From the river.
You are instantly feeling somewhat revived. You are just really quickly. You feel quite fine. How many are you missing? Any hit points at all?
No.
Okay. You tell me when you decide that you. We'll take that in another way. You feel revived. You feel like you have some energy. Some of the children who are harder up might reach up to have some of this water with you. And if you choose to share it, they too will spruce up and regain some color.
Yep.
Anybody else following Rook up to the crest of this hill?
Nope.
Okay.
No, staying with the kids.
Okay.
I'm not with them, am I?
We're all together.
Yeah, Shady, you're with them.
Oh, okay.
Last I remember.
Yeah, we made it back because we were in that same room, and then we fought that last hag. Then we ran.
Okay.
From that,
Yeah, you were back. You were back to back sword battle.
Then I'm gonna follow him because I don't know what he's running for, but
All right.
we'll see.
As you look down into the water, now that you can see, Noelle, you immediately notice two ships. You see a long dock extending from what looks like a low wooded area and a small grassy beach.
I'll drop flat as quick as possible if I see that.
Sure.
I don't want the backlight.
You see the long dock, and you can see the Shadow's Glint is pulled up next to it. Okay?
And you said I see a second ship?
You can see beyond the Shadow's Glint, just on the other side of it and kind of crashed up on the beach, sort of T-boning it slightly. The dancing sword has been run aground. It is on fire. It is obviously up on has been actually beached, and you can see large gaping holes in its hull, and it's starting to list to the side. You can also see that there's several figures on the Glint that appear to be on their knees. There are other figures that are in behind them, holding them at weapon point, and there are bodies scattered on both boats, some bodies on the beach.
Shit. Yeah. Crawl, backtrack down the slope a little bit. And then head back to the kids and to Geen B.
Okay. Runt, when you see the same position, you see what's in front of you. However, you also see that you notice the boat that you had seen before that is submerged on the other side of that dock. So we essentially have three boats kind of side by side, one that's kind of off kilter, right? And one that's under the water. Okay, so Noelle, you make your way back down to the group. Rook makes his way back.
Right, well, Our transport's technically gone. That thing's fucking on fire. But the glint looks pretty healthy. And it looks like whoever's in our crew is kneeled down, execution style, standing on the front.
Dancing swords on fire.
Heavily damaged.
I take off running.
Rogar's on your heels. Okay.
Well, we have kids here, so but we do have another ship technically, if we can find it.
Did Brunt leave with Rogar and Geen as well?
Brunt?
She never left from when you left. She is
Okay.
heading towards the boats as stealthily as possible.
You don't see Runt. She's out of sight.
Well,
Should we go help them?
I mean, there's another boat right that way. And we have a ton of kids.
But what
Hey,
if we
where's the oldest one? What the hell is his name?
Hoot.
Hoot?
Hoot.
Yeah, boss.
None of these guys go anywhere. And keep low.
Okay, boss.
I turn around and start running back the same way toward the little hill area.
Okay.
I follow.
Okay.
And then when we hit the hill crest, I'll immediately drop down again and try to as well stealthily make my way.
Geen, before he had turned around and started running, you were already cresting this this hill.
I'm finding my way to the boat. I'm dashing. I'm double dashing. I'm finding whatever road gets there.
All right. So, Runt, how stealthily are you moving?
I got a 17, and without hitting my button here, I can tell you it's probably almost 30.
Sure. So, Geen, you don't see Runt. Runt, you see Geen beat cheeks past you. Okay, so she's running past you. Rogar is noisily running past you again. And the two of them are heading through this low copse of trees and bursting out onto the dock. Geen, you were in the lead. Okay. You see this, Rook and Bees, as you crest the hill. You see that they are running flat out down through the trees. You can hear Rogar, and you can see Geen is making good time ahead of him, and sort of pulling the distance.
Why on earth are they running so fast?
I don't know.
Lord.
Flip the switch. We don't need to be seen.
Okay.
Okay.
So casting invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And no, I can only do it on myself right now.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I can do it to my. Wait,
All
let
right.
me just double check if I can.
If a Shatterkai goes invisible in the forest, does anybody see?
I can't do it myself. I can't do it myself, so I am going to just try to stealthily move in. So I'll roll
Okay.
for a stealth check if I can.
Sure. Runt, you can see all this happening. You can see bees pop out of existence, and you've got enough of a bead as you're moving to see both sides of the action.
19 plus 9. Oh yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay.
28.
Running order is going to dictate anything here, and it's Geen in the lead, Rogar in behind, Runt is next. And
I have a
then
question
Rook and
about that.
Bees.
Yep. Because since I have the bonus action to dash and it doesn't cost me anything, my action, movement, and dash altogether gives me 90 feet.
Okay.
Is that about the same as you, Geen?
Action, movement, and dash is 135.
Woo! Okay, cool. All right, I'll be a turn behind you then. All right, cool.
Monks.
Yeah, it costs you points though.
So, Geen, you are heading past bodies. There are bodies of people you know. You pass a wizard's body lying there, who you've talked to on a couple of occasions. You pass by several archers and a couple of soldiers who also were in mixed melee with people there. There are dead and wounded scattered through these trees. You are now at the dock, and you can see directly, or at least you're parallel with the dock. You can see the nose of the Shadow's Glint in front of you, and you can see the column of smoke in behind. You are an open plain at this point. All
I don't
right.
care about anybody. I'm looking
Okay.
for Pev.
All right, so you are the easiest way to get to Pevek would be to go over the glint because it's several meters. It's still off the shore, the Dancing Sword, and it's kind of on the aft quarter, on the bias of the Shadow's Glint. So you'd have to board the glint, jump to the sword.
I'll do it.
Okay. As you go up the gangway or backflip onto the deck, or however you want to accomplish that, you can see that there are soldiers everywhere. Or sorry, at least there's prisoners in front of you. At least a half dozen that you can see easily, and a few more down the road. And you can see the captain holding, overlooking all of these, and looking right at you. And then she waves.
Don't care. I'm jumping.
So she watches you jump across to the burning ship. And okay, so there you are.
As much as I can, I'm gonna head to where Pevik was hiding.
Sure. The cabin and the door that you went into, the infirmary and the kitchen, the galley, the purser's quarters, all of that, is absolutely gutted with fire. And it is bright blaze. The entire structure is on fire in front of you. The captain on the glint again motions towards you and says, "Gain!"
I don't care.
"Are you looking for your friend?"
Then I turn.
You see Shasti Amon standing there. The captain of the Dancing Sword is presiding over the Shadow's Glint. "We have him here," she yells to you.
Jump back.
Next to her, you can see one of the sailors is wounded, but is walking. She turns to him and says, "Take Geen. Take her down below to see her friend." And she's with one of the ladies, Geen.
She?
He's with one of the ladies.
Oh, you said she.
It's like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Okay, I'll follow.
You go down below, and one of the sea witches that was along for the ride is in one of the rooms that's down below in the glint. And it's dark wood. It seems to be some sort of a cabin. It doesn't look like a galley, but it's just some indescript sort of office, and there's a cot. And on the desk, she has a bundle of what looks like burlap. And she's sort of looking over it, and she looks up to you and she says, "I'm sorry, I don't know what to do."
He's not. Wait. There's nobody in that room?
No, you see Pevik.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Pevik is lying on the desk, wrapped in a rough burlap cloth.
Oh, I thought it was just burlap on the desk. Okay.
It's hard to actually distinguish where Pevik's flesh and the burlap end because he's got this funny sort of fabric-y, barky kind of tendency to him.
So gross.
But you see him lying there. You see one pincered claw. You see his head. You don't hear breath to speak of. The claw is clicking slightly. And you can see that his body ends at the other shoulder and descends down towards where your waist would be. One arm, two legs, part of his torso has been burned away. And it's this smoldering kind of punky smoke emanating up from him like burning wet wood. And you can see the cavities in his rag-like face sort of turn to regard you.
I get down to his face and I just say, Pev?
He again raises his clawed arm, and spores emanate from pores along his forearm, and they fill your nostrils. And for a moment you can hear the voice of the Sea Witch saying, "I'm sorry," but then that quiets down, and you understand that you are able to communicate with him. And he says, "There was fire. I tried to get out."
If there's nothing else, I get up and go after Rogar.
All right. Then he says, "Nothing. Okay, you're up and you're out with Rogar," and he's lying there, inside the cabin.
I just go for Rogar and I just go up to him and pull him by the arm and just say, "Come." That's it. Just trying to bring him to Pevik. I know he can heal, so I don't know if he can do that.
Okay. Rogar heads down into the cabin with you. There are no spores. Pevik is still. The smoldering continues along his, deep inside his body. And the Sea Witch turns to you and says, "I think he's gone."
I turn to Rogar and I yell, "Do something!"
As Rogar kneels over top of him, Pevik raises one arm. You thought, he was perfectly still. He raises one arm. Spores are released one more time. And he says, "Bag. Give me a bag."
I'm assuming I have a bag. I have a backpack. I'll give it to him.
Sure. Take a small pouch out. Sort of a sack. He jams his...
Oh, I know. I have the bag of peas from the Abbey that they gave us when we left. I just pour all the peas out onto the floor and then give him the bag.
Before you can't really get... He doesn't really take it. He jams his hand inside of it. And you hear a massive dump of those spores into it, and you can see them clouding out of the top of the bag. And then he says, "Goodbye." And his entire form kind of flattens and almost lays against the table as if it was just a wet towel. And the pincer doesn't just drop, but it's as if the entire mushroom form turns really dark and kind of squishy and soft and begins to fall apart. In fact, his one pincered arm just falls off the side of the table. And two colorful flaps that he had on the side of his head just sag and droop and his entire face kind of opens up and just sort of blends with the wood in kind of a brown mush. And this bag now has very little weight to it, but more weight than it had.
Staring for a while, and then if I'm still holding the bag, making sure it's wrapped up tight, and I'm hiding that thing.
Okay.
But I don't say anything after I hide it, and I just walk back up deck.
Rogar goes over and begins to talk to the captain. He seems to be inquiring about what's happening with the prisoners and trying to assess the situation of how many were lost. And he starts to see to some of the wounded. And he busies himself that way. At this point, Rook and Bees, you are as close, and Run, you are as close to this boat as you want to be. You can see Rogar on deck. You can see the captain who you recognize. You can see that those in control are people that you know or have met and have seen on the Dancing Sword.
Yeah, I guess I'll just jump up on deck then. Just somehow get up there.
I'll follow, but I'm staying invisible for now.
Okay. Runsky?
Guess I'm going to.
Okay. You drop your stealth?
No.
All right. So you three are skulking up the gangway and milling around. Geen, very quickly it becomes apparent that the Glint's crew that the Dancing Sword decided to make a play, and that they decided to assault this boat while you guys were dealing with the hags.
So just to clarify, the Dancing Sword, is that the one that's T-boned up onto the rocks, or is it the Glint that's T-boned up onto the
No, the Glint is where it was, moored against this dock. The Dancing Sword came in at speed, and it looked like they tried to sail in at speed and get up alongside it. But then, of course,
okay.
there was no depth, and so they hit
Gotcha.
rocks, and they kind of reverse T-boned it where the top of the T came into the
Okay, gotcha.
eye, if that makes sense, and they crashed up against the side of it and were able to then board.
So the sword's basically just on fire and holes in it. I'm going to hop onto the deck and then immediately look for the nearest entrance to go down below into the Glint.
Into the Glint?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you're able to see that there's several entrances. There's the standard sort of, cargo bay loading place, and then there's also the main entryway that would be below the aft
Whichever way's
deck.
less noticeable, more inconspicuous. I will
Sure,
go.
you can swing down into the hold
Yeah.
fairly easily.
Okay.
Okay, so down in the hold you go. You can see that the hold is largely vacant. There is where you've dropped, there is a large room that has a single desk there. I can't remember
I'm
if
looking
you...
for the quarters, the captain's quarters.
At the back of that room, you can see that there is a curtain to one side and a set of doors that have glass in them.
Yeah, I'll go over to those.
Okay, you get in there and you can see that off to one side, off to your left, there's a privy. Directly ahead of you, you see that there's a desk. There's a couple of lanterns around. There's a cot off to one side. And this seems to be the captain's quarters.
Rage loot!
All right.
I'm looting the everything.
All right.
I will, however, before I start just grabbing and everything, I'm going to take a quick look around the room, see if I can find anything that's any hidden alcoves or any traps as well.
Sure. You are able to find a latch on the bottom of the desk that reveals a secret drawer. Within that drawer, you can see that there is a journal. There is also a strange it's a pouch with a symbol of Karathur on it. You can also see what seems to be a mishmash of bounty that had been taken, or what do we call it, booty. Within this, there are a number of gold rings. There are child-size jewelry. There's even a couple of gold teeth. You can see that there's a pouch of gold pieces, quite a large bag of gold pieces.
Taking all of it.
Yeah, okay, so you are able to get about 850 gold worth of sort of mixed stuff. The other thing that you see is silver. There's 2 silver rings that are black and have what appear to be a sort of a black stone in the middle of them.
Okay.
And right now you can see that they are faintly glowing a purple circle within this. Sorry, it's a purple stone with a black circle.
Do I have any
swirling.
idea what these are?
Yep, you know very cleanly what those are. You have seen these in your homeland. You know that this is the symbol of Shar.
Yeah, okay, I'll throw the 2 silver rings in with the rest of the rings and stuff in that little pouch with all the gold. I'll grab the journal, then I'll look around the rest of the room, and if I can't find anything else in the rest of that room, I'm going to systematically make my way as quietly as possible along the bottom of the ship into the hold and into whatnot until I've basically searched it completely.
As you do, you find that other than some sort of rudimentary weapons, there's a few bodies. It seems to have been not scoured, but somebody's been through here, perhaps in haste, looting what they could and trying to get away. You know, it's a fairly sloppy job. You don't see a heck of a lot else other than iron rings where prisoners may be kept. And the floor has a bunch of scuff prints on it where little feet have trodden. I can't remember, Runt, if you had dispatched the guard that was at that desk, or did you just sneak past him?
I don't remember.
I think you killed him.
did.
So, yeah, so there's a dead guard slumped over the desk.
Has he been picked clean too as well?
Yep. Things here don't seem to have a lot of value. All in all, it seems like this boat has a singular purpose, and it is to ferry illicit goods and contraband around.
Can I, in my equipment, in like my stuff, do I just put the valued gold amount, or do I specify that it's rings and teeth and whatnot, or how do you want to go?
We
about
can
that?
sort that out a little bit later. But,
Okay, cool. See you later.
Yeah, for right now, we're going to say that there's other than those 2 rings which have movement in the stones, everything else seems to be fairly standard and childlike. But mixed currency. I'm going to just throw a value on it at 850 altogether. So it's not a terrible haul.
No, but I'll make my way back up as quietly as I can, and I'll just lean on the deck somewhere and wait for someone to notice I'm there.
Yeah, and I would say that this journal is not small. It took up half of that secret compartment on that large desk, and so it is a leather-bound journal.
Looks like a ledger, right? Like an old school ledger.
It looks like a captain's log. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. I'll just hold it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll read through it as I'm leaning on one of the
Very quickly,
stair rungs or
it
anything.
appears to be ports of call and where the ship has been, and the routine trip that goes between various ports within the Sea of Fallen Stars to this island, and then the return trip from this island all heads to the same place, and then will go to another random location, back to this Hag's Island, back to the same place, back to this random.
Okay, cool.
So, and in the notation of whenever it leaves the island, it says shipment mirrors. Shipment lambs is what comes towards the island. shipment mirrors. Shipment
Is what leaves the
lambs.
Okay, gotcha.
Lambs into the island, mirrors out of the island.
Cool.
Okay, back on deck, Geen. You are standing there.
Not doing anything, just standing there. Very unemotional,
Sure.
very still.
Okay, and I just want to remind everybody that back on the stony beach, we've left 29 children, plus our brave 4 waffle dumpling gang, the obnoxious Kralursa Settle, the unconscious Goro, and
Okay.
yeah,
If I remember, after what happened to Pevik, if I remember Goro's down there, I'm not gonna run, but I'm gonna briskly make my way off the boat, and as soon as I get a fair distance away, I'll start running up back to the beach.
As
Sure.
Gene walks by, I'm gonna say, just whisper, like, "Can you bring the kids? We should probably get them out of here."
Don't know, don't care.
sure.
Just going.
Sure. As you turn your sights back towards the hill, you can see that there's actually a chain of children being led down the path. A large paladin, a gnomish barber,
Oh, I forgot they were there.
and what appears to be an old man walking in this column. And Hoot, you can see Hoot.
I forgot we still had adults there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
They went with us, but then went back. So
Geen, you can actually see this column is reaching you now as you sort of they begin to come through the trees as you're heading into there. Okay.
Who's the old man? That's not Goro, is it? He's still unconscious?
He was.
Oh, that's Goro?
Mhm.
Then I'm heading straight for him. I'm putting my arm around him. And just from here on out, if Gin is speaking to Goro directly, she's speaking in Kozakuran.
Okay. Understood. The column heads towards the beach, and you can see that Griffaro is sort of, gathering his chicks together and getting them all towards the beach, and he seems to have totally changed into this more grandfatherly figure that's talking to these children. Even as you came up upon them, it seemed that Goro was being regarded by these kids as being sort of grandfatherly, and they're kind of looking at him as you would a senior. And Bill Corm is shorter than a lot of these kids, is kind of skipping alongside Hoop.
yeah, I caught that one.
And so you are standing next to Goro, and as Griffaro is sort of with you, you can hear him say to Bill Corm, "It looks like they've got things under control. Let's get these kids off this island and home." And Bill Corm goes, okay, let's go talk to the captain."
As I'm walking next to Goro with my arm around him, holding him up, I'm just gonna ask him, "Are you okay?"
"I'm very tired."
"We need to get you home."
"I fear you need me here."
"It's not safe for you here."
"You haven't completed your mission."
"And I can do that, but you need to go home."
"You are in over your head, Geen."
"You're the one that told me to leave."
"Are you closer to Karathur?"
Gonna make a glance at the siblings and say, I think so.
We'll look at Rook because I'm still invisible.
Okay, so where are you in relation to the boat and the deck?
Well, you whispered to me, so
Yeah, you
I'm
broke
looking in
invisibility.
so I'm looking in that direction.
Not
Oh,
standing
so
there
you-
anymore.
Oh, okay, sure.
Wait, I don't know if verbal breaks invisibility. It probably doesn't.
No, but I know the general direction of where
Yeah,
I
sure.
heard that sound.
So we don't know where you are, bees, but not cleanly.
Brooke's just thumbing through a big leather thing on the deck.
You've dealt a blow to Karathur's organization. We need to find him. We need to find your sister.
And we will. But you shouldn't be here for it.
I don't know how you expect me to go home.
I don't know either. I just know you need to go home. Or at least be kept somewhere safe. I know of a place. I don't know how long you can stay, but it may be somewhere for now.
Let's find where Karathur is. Get you on the road. Get you there. Then we can talk about whether or not I leave you.
Okay. But no more Momoe. Just Gin. That's what they know me as. I don't want them to know any more than they need to.
How will you go up against Karathur if you can't trust your team?
I'll figure something out. But right now,
It sounds like you don't trust them.
they don't trust me. How am I supposed to trust them? They
Who
won't
do I-
tell me anything.
Who do I need to be wary of, Geet? Do we have enemies amongst us?
Maybe. Who knows? All I know is there are people who won't talk, who won't say much. I told them things about my sister. I told them things about my home. I had a moment of weakness and now I regret it. But they won't tell me anything. They won't tell me their real names. And I'm sure if I ask them any more about Karathor, they're not going to say a lot, or at least be secretive about it. They don't like other people other than themselves. And I know we're gonna need each other to find Karathor, but they don't seem like people who give trust to anybody other than each other.
Geen, I don't know what to tell you. I never expected you to be traveling with Shatterkai.
Neither did I.
Are you guys walking up the deck of the boat at this point?
Nope,
Yeah,
I'm keeping
okay.
him away.
All right, so they're milling around, I would say, the edge of the trees, which is a good, 150 yards from the foot of the dock.
So I wouldn't be able to tell who she's talking to.
You can see that it's the old man that came through the portal. You can see that it is the old man who...
I'm facing him away.
Sure, but you recognize that it's the person that zapped through that portal that Rogar guarded over. In terms of what you saw when you came through the portal, does anybody have a recollection of what they saw?
I didn't see anything because I was eyes closed.
I remember you saying something about this guy got pushed through and there was a big explosion kind of thing, and it was like that was it. It was just, and he said like, "Why am I here? What happened?" And that was.
I think what he came through in his Tanuki form, and then when he fell out, his body changed back to his human form.
Okay, so when he hit the ground, when he fell through the portal, for a brief moment, you saw the outline of this sort of red panda raccoon dog
Right.
type form that fell to the ground. Red panda is the way I think of it. I know
It's
I may
not a red panda.
No,
it's
I know,
completely
but it's
different. Yeah.
totally. But it reminds me of a red panda from if you don't know what a raccoon dog looks like. Anyway, it's halfway raccoon, halfway dog. But
Yeah.
then what kind of dog? So anyway, it's this type of rodent badger like raccoon dog into the thing and then human form.
Rodent badger.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was trying to struggle with what a raccoon dog looks like for anybody.
Just think of a raccoon and colored like a shaggy black gray dog, like
Gray.
from the Harry Potter.
That helps.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, sure. Raccoon crossed with a wolfhound kind of thing.
There you go.
Yeah. So he formed back into a human. You know that this is the same thing. Okay. Same person, same entity, same creature. But you just see that he and Momoe are talking. Pardon me, he and Geen are talking. So they are. You can continue to talk. What are the rest of you doing as this is going on?
At this point, I've moved over next to Rook to talk to him.
Okay.
I'm still invisible, so yeah. And in Elvish, very quietly, I'm going to be like, so do we just give the kids to this captain? Because I don't want to be on this ship any longer than I have to be, and we have another ship that we can get on.
I'd be way more interested in getting the other ship and be as far away from children as possible right now.
I want to be as far away from this captain as possible. She may end up with a dagger next to her throat.
Oh my god, she's a bitch.
Alpha Bees, would you say that your character is wishing to be away from this place?
Oh, yeah. She's...
The amulet around your neck suddenly starts to grow. And as the weight of it is sort of hanging around your neck, you're able to quickly grab and be holding this ship's wheel in front of you suddenly.
You're still
Did it break
invisible.
my concentration?
What's that?
Did it break my concentration?
Yeah. We're going to
Okay,
say
I'm
it did. And you
Gonna
popped into
wheel
view.
it real fast to be
Yeah.
small again.
All right.
Again.
Nope, too late. So, water begins to rush. It's almost as if a pool is being filled. And as your eyes track towards this, you see that, first of all, these three masts begin to extend up through the wall, through the water. And now to the dock on the other side of the glint, you see the rails of a boat emerge through the water. And then the forecastle and the quarterdeck up through the from the water, and then the deck itself, and then water is spilling off of this structure as this petrified wood-like ship rises up and then begins to float next to the boat, sitting there.
Did you just
I
did you
think
just
so?
summon a boat?
I'm looking at the wheel, and I'm looking at Rook, and I'm looking at the boat. I think so.
How long have you been able to do that?
Geen and
2 minutes.
Geen and Goro, you are distracted by this rushing water, and you see this gray stone ship rise up out of the water. So you just, and Goro may turn to you and go, "Well, that's something you don't see every day."
Oh, you're
You're
muted.
Muted.
Sorry. Does that ship look like the ship in the mural?
Precisely.
Okay. Then I know what it is, and
How far away is that ship from the Shadow's Glint?
Right on the other side of the dock. A thin little walkway. These ships are now side by each.
Rook takes off running immediately. He's gonna
Right,
get on
don't
that
have
ship
to-
as quick
You
as
don't
possible.
have to. You don't have to run far. With your elven agility, you can basically jump from one rail to the other, and you are on deck.
This is mine. I got here first. I don't have a flag, but I have a coat. It's mine. No
You're
touch.
not the one that can drive it, so
No,
I don't
you're
want
like
to
a chauffeur. You can raise and lower the ship, but I can drive the ship.
I'm just like gonna walk away from him.
I'll let you know if I need a chart or directions. Also,
Oh,
What about the wheel?
Yeah, and the wheel is actually pulling you. You can kind of feel that it's drawn towards the ship.
Yeah, I'm on the other ship, walking towards where the wheel goes, the helm.
this
Yep.
is the coolest thing I have ever seen. It's like we have like an Insta ship.
The wheel locks into place where it would normally hinge, and now spins as though it would be a normal boat.
If that conversation was happening at a normal like level, then I would have pointed out to Goro like those two.
Yeah, so the conversation being the conversation about the boat?
Yeah, like the conversation those two just had with each other.
Sure, if
If
it's
it was
the
loud
excited,
enough,
the
yeah.
excited
Oh yeah,
chatter about
I
the
wasn't.
boat,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, no. There was
Yeah.
no.
Where are
separate
you
view.
standing during all of this? What do we see you doing?
Who?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, Runt.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just want to make
Um,
sure we're still.
She's probably looking for alcohol because it's time to celebrate because we just killed a bunch of
All right. So you are rifling through.
everything, whatever.
So you're down under decks, and indeed you find a couple of things of grog and a small cask of rum. And so the grog you can't really move because it's sort of water that's been mixed with rum, and then you've got this small cask of pure rum that you found, and there seems to be some broken bottles and some things around, but you might be able to find another couple of things of crude wine. Kind of thing. But again, it doesn't appear to be a heavy drinking ship. Other than that. All right, so you are standing on this boat, Rook and Alphabes. We have Runt ransacking for alcohol, and you are standing at the trees. Keen, still with Goro. It is daybreak at this point, or at least we're getting into mid-morning. And the captain is talking to, has come down now, is talking to Griffaro. And they're both amazed at the ship that's just sort of risen, but they seem to be laying some plans.
Yeah, I have lost all interest in anything else that's going on. I am going around this waterlogged ship and wondering why it's not waterlogged, if it still is. What's the deal? Is it like?
Okay. What you learn, so you're looking through the ship. It's not waterlogged. It appears to be, after it's come up out of the water, it appears to be perfectly dry. You can head downstairs, and there are cabins, as you would expect. All the doors appear relatively the same.
So yeah, I'm just if anyone else is doing anything, they do it. I have now become the nerd on the ship.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
like,
nerding out
oh
on
my
the
god,
ship.
there's a double ballast. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, so we'll get back to we'll get back to that in a minute.
And I'm just laughing at him.
Griffaro and Rogar are talking, and what you soon decipher to be the plan is that they've got two problems. One is that they want to get the kids back to Harrowdale. They've decided that in order to, as recompense for the sword, Sharasti Amon has taken a prize, the Shadow's Glint, and has essentially told them that this is mine now. And she has agreed with Griffaro that she will ferry the children back to Harrowdale. And they set about actually moving some of the bodies onto the island, the ones that aren't theirs. They seem to just be piling them there for a moment, deciding what to do with them. And they have the matter of 8 prisoners, many of which seem to be deckhands, some indentured, and a few of which appear to be somewhat more seasoned sailors.
I'm gonna walk Goro up onto the Shadows Glint because I want to get in on this conversation with Rogar and Griffaro and the captain and bring up another probably subject of interest. So I'm just gonna, but I'm keeping Goro with me the entire time. Like he's not leaving my side.
Okay. And as you do, you can see that I'll just say, just for all of you, that they're making ready to sail the Glint, and so you can see that the sailors are doing their job, pushing away the wreckage of the sword, moving over what supplies they could have, securing the ship, and making ready for voyage. So, Geen.
So I'm saddling up into this powwow and mostly nudging to Rogar so I can have some sort of chance to talk.
Okay, you're there.
We have another possible problem. This island is too important to be left alone.
What do you suggest?
Hoot!
Hoot comes over.
Hoot. You know how important this island is, don't you?
I know that the water is important to my sister.
Well, it's very important. The reason why those hags were here were to control that power for a very bad person. I'm worried about leaving it alone. Did you want to go back home with your sister, or did you desire to stay with Clarissa?
I was just going to talk to you about that. I want to go home.
And Clarissa?
She can come. How do I say this? She can come if she's good. But
What happens if you run out of water?
I don't know, but I don't live too far from here. And so if I can get home, then maybe my mom and dad can help me. Maybe we can go to the temple.
Maybe. Everyone wants to go home? Tweet, Bark,
No,
Buzz?
a bunch of them are going to head north where they come from. But I'm not from the north. I'm from the south.
Right. But they're going to their homes.
Yeah, they're going back to Harrowdale, I guess. That's the plan. But I talked to the big guy and said I wanted to go south. And so I'm hoping that you guys will take me.
Well, it looks like everyone's going back to Harrowdale first. And then from there, maybe you and Clarissa could head south.
Yeah, but that's a long way. And I mean, we're not that far from where I live. You know, it wasn't a long trip for me to get here. I know we're close. We learned, you know, I knew about the island of Bertha when I was a kid.
Okay.
My dad would talk
okay.
about it, and he.
Hoot. Go talk to Rook. He's on the other ship. Go find him. Go talk to him.
Okay. He hops down, hops over. Clarissa is kind of straggling along behind him.
Rogar, my topic still stands. This island is too important to be left alone.
Why don't we get to a town, talk to members of my order, and get the gauntlet here to protect it until we can figure out what to do with it. We can get our brothers of Selûne to send a contingent here. They can guard it until their order decides what to do with it. But I can't hold this by myself.
No. But that's a good idea.
I
Then
think
the
it
shadows
means-
glint.
But I agree with you. We shouldn't wait if we're going to do that, we have to do it quickly.
Is
And there
the, sorry, go ahead.
And they're on the
Shadow's
other
Glint.
boat
Shadow's Glint goes to Harrowdale. We
with
go
Griffaro.
with Griffaro and Bilk. Bilk is going to Harrowdale. He's not staying with us.
Is
I
that
don't
what
want
he
to
said?
argue about it. I don't know, but he's not staying with us.
Well, I think that's up to him, though, wouldn't you say?
He's not staying with us. He needs to go back to Harrowdale. He needs to settle down. He needs to not be here. And I don't want to fight about this. But he needs to go.
Goro's at your side. In Kozakuran, he says to you, I don't think you can afford to let any assets go, Geen.
He killed people. He killed a lot of people.
You've killed people.
Innocent people. I killed people that caused us harm, that were attacking us. He killed a bunch of prisoners and crew members. And he
Right.
was happy about it.
Sounds like somebody we could use, Geen. We're
I'd rather
embarking on
not.
dirty business.
I don't care.
Well, I don't understand.
There's nothing to understand. He does not belong with us anymore.
So Rogar's watching you and Goro talk in Korzakuran. Runt, where are you? You're still drinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Rook and Bees, you're on the Moon Maiden.
Yeah, once the helm's in place, I'm gonna just like hop back over to the other ship real quick and grab the Karathor banner and throw it into whatever the closest fire is and hop back on our ship, our new ship.
Okay. Geen, I want you to give me just a roll without asking. 20.
15.
Okay. All right. So the scene. Here we are amongst the children. They are sort of finding their way around the rail. The prisoners that are with them are the sailors that are with them are seeming to try to make them comfortable. Rogar has a couple on his lap. You don't see Bilt immediately. You don't see Runt. And you don't see the Sibs. You do see 8 prisoners on their knees. Sharasti Aemon comes up to you and says, or comes up to Rogar and says, and Griffaro and says, "We're shorthanded. I don't want these on my boat. If you're heading for shore, I'll get the children back as fast as possible. Can you turn these over to a watch in the nearest town?" Rogar turns to you. He seems to be... Is that the plan, Geen? Are we going to go to the nearest town? Because if so, I can take on this responsibility.
I'm going to look over across where the boat is, where Rook and Hoot are. I'm assuming during our conversation, they were having a conversation.
Well, you can't see Rook. Rook's nerding out. Bees is examining ruins and whatnot that are around the boat and the wheel. They seem to be engaged.
Right, but I told Hoot to go talk to Rook.
Okay, so
So I'm assuming that happened while we were having our
Sure.
conversation.
Rook Hoot finds you and says, well, actually, let's say he goes up to Bees because you're the one next to the wheel. and he's going to say, I asked the others if you could take me home. I'm not too far from here. They're all heading north. Can you swing me south a ways so I can find my folks?
Why don't we go talk to Rook, because he's going to be in charge, and I'll hold out my hand to Hoot
Okay,
and see if we can do that, okay?
sure. So you walk him down below decks, and we find Rook. Rook, when you enter the first room, what are you expecting to see?
The first room of like just.
Yeah, so let's say in front of you there are 5 doors, one directly ahead of you, 4 on each side, 2 on each side.
A back door under the. I would have jumped through the middle of the boat of the ship where the cross section.
Sure. So you are in a
drop would have been.
you're in a hold. At the
Yeah,
back
I'm
of
in
the
a
hold
hold,
there are 4 doors and a rearward facing door.
I have no idea what I would expect, but I would be opening every door like da 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 da.
Okay. So the first one you open, you open it up and it's a well-appointed bedroom. Looks like it's for an officer.
Right, bedroom. Cool. Next one.
What are you expecting to see?
I'm expecting more bedroom doors. Yeah.
Another bedroom. You see another one appointed almost precisely as the other one would, with the exception of the way it's laid out.
Do they look identical?
They look a lot like how you would set up a bedroom.
Okay, cool. All right, I keep going down the whole line. Then I'll go to.
Yep.
I'll do the 4 on one side.
Same bedroom,
then you
same
go-
bedroom, same bedroom. Made bed, made bed, made bed. Fruit on
Is
the
it-
table, fruit on the table, fruit on the table.
Does it look like my bed? Like, does it look like the way I'd make a bed?
Yep.
B, get down here, B.
Sorry. What?
You head to the voice and you go over to talk to Rook.
So much for that. I am the root of all her problems.
What do you want to tell? What do you want to tell Bees?
Bane of my existence.
I don't know if this is a thing.
Ah, cool! You hear behind her, and you can see that. Is this my room? And you can see that.
You brought a kid. You brought a kid.
And you can see
I did not bring a kid.
Hoot has opened up a room, and he's looking inside it. A room you've already looked at.
Hoot, why don't you go in there while Rook and I talk?
This bed is just like mine at home.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. Oh, check this out. Wait. I open one of the bedroom doors. I run in. I pick up a piece of fruit from the table. I run back out the door. I take a bite of the fruit. Close the door. Open the door again.
Fruit's back on the table. Room
Look at
appears the way
this
like.
shit!
And when you look into Hoot's room, it's not the room you opened the door on. It has a colorful bedspread. It has a rocking horse. It has a desk full of colorful crayons and drawing paper.
Hoot, get out here right now. I'm not gonna have
Yeah.
a rocking horse on a broom. Get out of here now.
What?
I close the door of the room he was in when he's outside, and then I open it again.
The rocking horse is there. The crayons are there.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
Don't go
can
in
you-
any more rooms.
Can you stop
Either
nerding
of
out
you.
for 30 seconds? Stop nerding out for 30 seconds. We need to talk.
Hoot goes back in the room, and you can hear him.
Hoot, if you don't go in any other room,
I'm going to be home before I know it, he says.
do not
Come
go
on, horsey.
in any other room. Do you hear me? Not if you understand.
You got it.
Swear to God, if there's 6 other rooms with rocking horses in it in 10 minutes, I'm going
Okay,
to be
you-
so mad.
You need to calm down, first of all.
What? What is it? We just found a ship that goes underwater.
Second of all, Geen sent Hoot over here to see if we could bring Hoot home. Because apparently Hoot lives in like the next town over.
I mean, I thought we were going in a different direction.
It's south. I don't know what direction we're going in.
You suddenly realize between the two of you that you don't have any idea what the next step is. Dun, dun, dun.
So maybe we drop the kids off and get to town and figure out what we're doing. Nobody's going to steal this ship. We can take the wheel with us.
Can take
Nobody
the
can
wheel
drive
with
this ship.
us. Oh, I'm so happy. This is insane. We could
Also-
take the wheel with us. as a necklace. Okay.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
yeah.
It was a long trip. I don't know if the others are coming with us. I just think we drop off the kids, call it a day, get some good food, something to drink, maybe spend a night in a town, and then get the hell out of here because we need to get off this island because Karathor knows we're here.
Did that Oni see me? And did I
Yep.
see her? Did I know which one she was, or was it just kind of like?
There was a smirk to her face that she told you she knew who you were.
I'm just assuming we need a big enough boom that he knows that we're here
Yep.
without the Oni.
I'm sorry, I've lost most of my train of thought. Sure, fine. Let's drop off some kids in a town. It doesn't matter. There's only 3 things I'm really worried about right now, and 2 of those things are the ship. But one of those things is that old man Gein's talking to.
I don't know who that is, but yeah, it seems a little weird. But then again, we don't know very much about her, so.
Remember when I was telling you the types of people that Karathor would employ?
Mm-hmm.
Oni, goblins, trolls, elves.
But Salune bought him here. Why would she bring him here?
I don't know. I don't trust him.
I don't know. But
The only other time I've ever seen any types of his type has literally been in military
but she
use
wouldn't have,
by Karathor.
she wouldn't have bought him here if he wasn't meant to be here with us.
It's confusing. I think we just have to take it one step at a time. For
What's
now,
confusing is the voice that I heard in my head while I was up at the top of the hill. What's not confusing is the fact that she bought him here for some reason.
hey, you got the necklace with a massive wheel on it. I'll take your lead for now.
We trust him or we hold him at arm's length until we know if we can trust him or not.
I'd say so.
I mean, there's a reason she bought him here. We need to figure that out.
But they don't attach themselves to humans, and humans know what they are.
I don't know.
I don't
Why
like it, but I
don't
really
know
like
why
the
if
ship.
they would be here. All right, well, let's, I guess, figure out if the others are coming with us and then get the heck out of here because I'm starting to get an itchy feeling that we need to go.
Yeah, it's like between the shoulder blades. Someone's watching.
When you head up on deck and the rest of you see this, the glint is truly ready to go at this point. We're sort of on to noontime. The 8 prisoners have been brought onto the deck. Onto the. I'm actually going to say that some of the sailors from the other crew have actually brought them onto the deck and are standing there with them under orders from the captain. And perhaps Rogar has agreed that they will be taken and dropped off. Rogar is sort of with the captain or sort of in behind, and you can see that he's making ready to join you two on your boat. Or at least he's standing on the dock, seeing that this is the way things are starting to go. Griffaro is on board the glint, and he's looking after the kids, sort of making his farewells to Rogar, and if he has time, he'll come over to each of you and wish you well, but you understand that he has to head back to the High Harvesters. Runt, you are well and truly lit at this point, carrying around this barrel of rum. You see that the Sibs, I want to call you the twins,
I know
are on board
Might as well.
Are on board this what looks like this rock ship that you had floated over at one point. It is now floating. And if you didn't notice it before, you see it now, and it seems to be up and moving. And
I'm gonna look at the rum like,
yeah.
Holy shit!
Geen, you and Goro, I assume, are still on the deck of the of the Shadow's Glint. So you're free to sort of decide what you want to do. Goro's position is that you've got to head towards Karathur.
Yeah. But Geen's putting her foot down on Bilk.
Yeah, you can't see Bilk right now.
But in the conversation she's having, she doesn't budge.
Yep. Yeah, I think Rogar's heard you.
Yep.
Well,
I'm
I guess
gonna.
the two of us will come back onto the other boat. What are you thinking?
No, when I get back up to the top, I'm gonna call down to Rogar and see if they're coming with us or not. I really don't want to get off of this boat. I don't want to go on the other boat.
Is the boat also like ready to set sail? Are we like, can we weigh anchor and go, or is it like it's still needing to be like struck and everything, right?
Ask it.
But, serious? Cannot
These
believe-
places are hand on the wheel, gauzy and silver, sort of sparkly, as if they're made out of lace or some sort of shimmery material. Sails suddenly appear, and the boat moves ever so slightly, as if it wants to back itself out of this port.
Does that answer your question?
Okay, you've successfully unfurled the boat. Now take your hand off the wheel before you run us into the same spot as the sword.
It wants to go backwards, not forwards. Duh.
I don't know what it wants to do. You're the one in charge of it.
So you feel attuned to this boat at this point. Okay.
This is insane.
Has Rogar talked to ever? Did Rogar hear me call down?
Call down saying, "What are we doing?" Or what was the
Asking
question?
if they were coming with us.
I think that's the plan. Can you find us the closest port, or
South.
make a decision where we should go? Okay, to the
Well-
south.
We'll take these kids home. These two kids home.
Sure, and
Boots' home is Candlekeep.
that is right. And I'm trying to remember where the hell. Yeah, okay. So, we may have to have a sudden change of Hoot's hometown. One moment.
I agree, though. We have to get lost into a town or something. The more bodies around us, the quicker we can get out of it.
We just need to get the heck out of here. The good thing is that I don't think he knows about this ship, so we're pretty much off the grid at this point.
Hey, can you change the way the sails look? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Stop messing with things.
It's new, it's fancy, I love it, and I haven't had a toy since we were both 20, and that is more than a century ago.
Okay, well, we'll mess with it later. Let's just get the heck out of here first.
I just want pirate sails.
No,
That's cool.
this is not a ship that gets pirate sails.
Why not?
What are you, 5?
Yes, in here, and sometimes in here.
No,
Don't like rocking horses, though.
we are not besmirching the ship with pirate sails. Child.
Besmirch?
I don't know. Fancy words.
I don't even know you anymore.
So, Hoot tells you that his home is Candlekeep, but for all intents and purposes, he was abducted from Proscure, is where he's going to when he's a little more clear. And Proscure is directly west, roughly, from where you are now,
And would
in the
he-
direction of Candlekeep.
Would me or B know where that is based on us having sailed through this area before?
You would know that it's on the westernmost tip of the Sea of Dragons, which is kind of an offshoot of the Sea of Fallen Stars. And there is a road that goes directly from that, a long road, but a road that goes directly from that to Candlekeep and Baldur's Gate. So the pieces sort of fall into place from that perspective. But that's where he's asking to go.
Fine with it.
Now, the other thing that, and Bees, I would say for reasons we've discussed, you definitely know where Candlekeep is, and you definitely know you've been that way before.
Mhm.
Okay. So that we can move on from this, just tell me what is happening here as we set sail. Okay, we've got 8 prisoners that are aboard with you.
Wait, the prisoners came aboard with us?
Yeah, because we're gonna drop them off at the nearest town.
Oh, okay.
So what do you want to do? What do you want to do with those prisoners? Incidentally,
They're in the hold, wherever that is.
okay. So you take them down into the hold.
Do all of them look like like affiliates of Karathor? Like how
They
we're
were
talking, like,
they were shipmates on the Glint.
yeah, but I mean, Rook's very, very used to, pirate ships. You take them over, take half their crew, they change fealties left, right, and center. It's the type of thing where they would just, you know what I mean? Like, or are these people like, are they like hard Karathor people? You know what I'm saying? Like
The Karathor loyalists.
Exactly. Are
They
loyalists,
look
or
like they look like people that are. You see a few Luhuk scars. You see, or at least you see some. They look hardcore. They're not. These aren't. They've been dealing with, abducted children for the last several years. So these
I
guys
just
are.
forgot that we don't need a crew, so it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Yeah. As you take them down into the hold, where as soon as you decide what corner of it you're putting in, as you head towards that corner, you can see that there are shackles, 8 of them, conveniently placed wherever you would think they make the most sense. And this hold is ready to receive these prisoners.
Yeah, I put them all. We'll start putting them in shackles.
As you do, one of them turns to you and spits on you and says, "You're dead. You know how dead you are, Rook? You're dead. We all know who you are."
Rook will just wipe it out from the side of his forehead, and then go.
So gross.
You laugh now. You won't be laughing when Karathor skins you. When he gives you to his witch. You watch. I'll be the one laughing over your grave, mate.
Okay. Is there Rook thinks of a larger shackle that fits around a neck.
Yeah, one's right there. Easy reach.
Click around the neck of the guy that's
Sure, it's almost like an Iron Maiden for the
and then
head.
he goes-
It just clink.
And then he thinks no keys and no holes, and so all the shackles have no keys and no holes.
Yeah.
They're all solid pieces of iron.
Silver, but yeah.
Silver.
Sure.
And then he'll take out a dagger, and he just kind of pops it just near the top of the 2 lips of the guy right there.
Okay.
Do you still want to laugh, mate?
We'll see. He's talking pretty tough.
Okay. All right. Then he'll just turn around and start walking toward the back. Back up into the ship.
So they're on board. The captain and the crew wave goodbye.
While that was happening,
Please.
After everyone dispersed, I'm gonna take Goro and sit him down somewhere on the Moon Maiden, and I'm looking for Bilk.
Yeah, you don't see him on the Moon Maiden.
I'm gonna go to Griffaro and tell him you're taking Bilk. I can't find him, but you need to take Bilk back to Harrowdale.
Griffer, okay, I will. I'll see if I can find him. Captain seems pretty bent on leaving, though, so I suggest we hurry.
Yeah, if I need to look all over the Shadow's Glen, to look over the Moon Maiden one more time, I'm looking for Bilk.
Okay, go ahead and roll for me.
Just straight 17. I don't know what you want.
Sorry, just investigation.
Oh, okay. Then it would be 18.
Okay, pardon me. I should have been a little more. Yeah. You can't find him yet, and the captain is getting a little itchy. You want to keep looking?
Yeah?
Okay. So,
in my search for him, do I see Runt?
Runt.
She would have wandered onto the new boat and is exploring
Okay.
it.
All right. In her exploration and in my search, if we bump into each other, I'm going to say, Runt, have you seen Bilk?
I don't know.
I can't find him, and he needs to go to Harrowdale.
I mean, maybe he's dead.
Maybe, but don't want him on this boat.
Do you want me to make him dead?
I want to say yes, but I'm pretty sure that's the wrong answer.
I understand exactly what you mean.
Is Goro next to you?
No, I would have left him like on the deck, like somewhere sitting down, just away from people. And just would have told him,
Goro's in timeout.
yeah, well, he's tired, he said. So just stay here, rest, do not talk to anybody. And I'm feverishly looking for Bilk, talking to Rent. If I feel satisfied that he's not on the Moon Maiden, then I'll give up.
Okay.
Good, because we're about to halt anchor.
So you are not satisfied he's not on the Moon Maiden, but you can find no sign of him. He's literally, you were looking at him on the deck as you were talking, and asking Rogar and giving him, before you asked Rogar, and when you turned back, he was not there.
Then, in frustration, I tell Captain Shirasti to just go.
She sets sail, and you see the boat heading out. If Rook, as you check the logs of the boat, you can see that indeed the Glint had visited several of the towns, including Proscure. So it all seems to fit. You can see a couple of the entries that are from that doc seem to jive with Hoot's story, which I believe he was visiting somebody and got scooped. They were there for a wedding or something, and
His
so
grandfather.
a grandfather, and it seemed to get all this starts to sort of click, and so Proscure is the way to go. And the moment you tell Bees, the ship it backs out. The glint heads back through the gap that you were in, around through the fog. And the fog actually around this island has appeared to lift all of that dense fog that was around. And without even charting a course, as soon as you mention the word prosecutor, and as soon as that is in your head, Bees, this boat is sailing with what appears to be wind in its sails. However, Rook, your practiced sense is that this boat is not tacking against any specific thing. It is making a beeline.
Best boat ever.
A beeline.
A beeline.
I'm just drinking for that one anyway. That was.
I agree with that.
Speaking of which, Rook is gonna go find Runt. If you can find her
Sure.
somewhere.
Where would we find you, Runt? Where would we
It
find
depends. What is she finding as she's looking around the ship?
you? Well, when you open up the first room, as you're looking through, it is a well-appointed room that has everything that you would want.
So it's a bar.
So it's a bar with a couch and a plate full of peanuts and beetles on the table.
All right. Well, she's wasted and snacked and probably asleep on a couch at this point.
Yep. So as you open up the door, Rook, this is what you see. You see a small bar, libations, a bunch of half-eaten beetles, and a small young preteen girl or teen girl laying on this thing spread out with a half-finished flask barrel of rum. You also see that sitting at the table as Runt's sleeping is Clarissa Subtle, happily snacking on said beetles and having quite a gay time.
More kids. Grace. Well, if she's passed out, I'll show her later. I'm gonna go to the two back doors.
You open it up.
Yeah, open it up. And
Open it up.
I'm imagining this captain's quarters with floor to ceiling windows looking out back onto the ocean. If you ever watched Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yep.
it's the nice one.
That's right. It's the Jack Aubrey suite, and that's
yeah.
what you find when you open it up. And there is a chart on the table. There is a silver ship on that chart, which is moving ever so slowly across what looks like an etched surface of a map, depicting exactly where you are. And you seem to see all of Toril in front of you. You also can see some other lands off to the sides, various lands that you aren't familiar with from any sea chart. Various runes that you've come to know as being rooted in Selûne. And yep, it is, other than the fact that the color scheme is somewhat opalescent, I would say it's everything you would expect.
It's rose, gold, black, and red. That's the whole place.
Yeah. That's the one thing that isn't sort of here, other than the colors of the crayons and the bedspread. Everything down here appears to be somewhat silvery and alabaster. It's quite moon-like in its appointments.
Oh yeah, I can get used to that. That's fine.
So what are you doing down there?
I'm gonna bring out the ledger, and I'm just gonna kind of sit with it for a little bit, and then I'll come to the conclusion that this is not my area of expertise, but I know someone who is good at this, and I'm going to leave the captain's quarters. When I get outside of where the two doors are, I'm gonna imagine that there's just wall there, no hinge, no door, so there's no room.
The door does not go away. Okay.
Can it lock?
No, interestingly enough. We are on deck now. Bees, you're at the wheel, or where are you? All right, and Geen, you are.
As soon as the ship started leaving the beach area, would have taken Goro downstairs and find a room for both of us to stay in.
Okay.
I have a question. Do I have to stay at this wheel, or do I just need to be on the ship?
Give it a shot.
I'm gonna step away from the wheel like 3 steps, see what happens.
It's still going where it's going.
I'm gonna take a few more steps.
Seems to be happily sailing.
I'm gonna walk away and go pick out a room.
All right.
You'd also know that we charted a course, so you don't need to hold the wheel.
Okay, well, it's a magic ship. I'm just making sure that I
It
don't.
made you
get
feel
near it.
important for a little while, and then now you can step away.
No, he's just giving me crap because he can.
Yeah.
I want to make sure the room that Geen finds for her and Goro is either across from or next to Runt.
What do you want most in this room?
Something that looks like home and something with a lot of security.
And what's the most important thing that you're concerned about right now?
Locks on earthing.
Okay, so you want to have locks?
I want to make sure nobody can get in or out of this room without me knowing.
All right. So you can't seem to see any locks in the classic sense, but when you open it up, it would look like something that would be a Kozakuran ship, right? So that whether that's sort of fine woodwork and paper screens and these kind of things. I don't know what exactly it would be without being too a cliche, but if you picture it, that's what you see. Kozakuran style beds, 2 of them. If what you most care about is that this room is secure, just tell me what the fear is in your mind.
I have no clue where Bilk is. I know
Bilk is sitting on the bed, looking quite stunned,
Sick.
like he wasn't sitting on the bed a moment ago.
Tim, is your mic removable so you can just go like that? Just drop the mic. Just drop it.
And that wins the night.
He's sort of, and the rest of you can hear in various decibels, but very clearly, like this squealy scream that you know is Bilk's, and you can kind of hear it echo throughout the.
I'm gonna run into the room because the squealy scream is never good.
So you can start towards the room. Rook, you're in the captain's quarters, which is a few doors down. Run.
Just poke my head out the door.
You can decide whether or not you want to wake up. The rocking chair stops for a moment, the rocking horse, and then starts again. But Geen, you and Goro are standing in front of this little gnomish barber. Hey, Geen. Hey, Geen's pal. What's happening?
out.
Oh, okay. And he hops off the bed. And he sort of slides along the room, slides past Goro. Goro looks down at him inquisitively. Now, what would Goro's facial expression look like?
I mean, if he just appeared out of nowhere, I assume.
Well, Goro gives him a little snarl as you see him go past, and he squeezes by, looking quite intimidated. He steps out into the room. He sees you, Bees. He steps out to the room and sees you, Rook, and he goes, where's Rogar?
I think he's still upstairs.
Okay.
Very confused right now.
He starts to sort of...
What the hell's going on between you two?
It's a long story, but I was on deck and I rolled like a 26 and I heard what Geen said and she wants to get away from me and and I want to stay with you guys. So don't let her kick me off the boat. And he starts to sort of scramble down the room and then starts to head up to deck. He didn't say he rolled a 26, but that's what he
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna pop my head into Gein's room and go, where
Door's
did he come
shut.
Oh.
No,
Door-
I'm opening the door, knocking and opening, and going, where did he come from?
Sorry.
I'm pushing her out. I don't care.
The moment that
Ooh.
Bees, specifically Bees,
I know.
wants in that room, the door evaporates.
Yes! Oh my god, no!
I don't care. I am angry as fucking hell, and
Okay.
I'm pushing everybody out of this room.
So you can push
I'm
them
looking
out,
at
but
her.
but the boat will follow Bees' command, just so we're all clear.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
her and going, touch me again and see what happens.
Boop. Sorry.
Figure your shit out or get off this boat now. And I'm going to walk away and go in my room.
The door rematerializes. Whoop.
Can I open my door? Just like peer out.
All you see is Rook's head out of the cabin's door as well. Like, what the hell?
So you and Clarissa are poking your heads out of the door. Okay.
Oh. What?
Okay. We can assume some time passes now as we're continuing to sail. So why don't you tell me what each one of you would be doing during the time as this thing is heading steadily towards
Proscure.
Proscure.
Talking, I need to have a conversation with Rook about the voice that
Okay, where are you going to have
talking
it?
to me.
Where are you going to have it?
Probably in one of our rooms.
Okay, so you're in Rook's room, and you notice that the room that he's taken for himself, with its grand windows, you can see that the sun is setting. It is now dusk. Rogar's kind of he's sort of cycled around downstairs. He's checking the prisoners. He checks in on you, Runt. But he sort of looks in on you and Rook, and he goes, "Yeah, well, I'll leave you guys alone." And he sort of backs. Okay, whatever.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, heavy. So, Bees, what do you want to cover?
Just talking about what happened up at the top of the hill with the voice. So I'm gonna look at Rook and be like, "Yeah, you know that voice I told you about earlier? One in my head.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That was Salune Sahani, one of the two.
Kind of the same thing in a way.
So during that ritual, she spoke to me for the first time in a long time, and yeah, it was weird.
Okay, that's, scary.
Yeah.
You don't usually have a lot of gods talking to you.
I mean, you have voices in your head all the time.
Yeah, but that's a thing. That's not the
Yeah.
moon goddess talking to you. You know what I mean?
But like, she told me I was worthy.
Well, she obviously is lying.
Punch him in the arm.
You know what's great about this room? It doesn't matter how many times you do that, because I can still do this. He picks up a glass from one of the cabinets, pours a bunch of rum into it, looks at B, and watches the glass, then puts the thing back in the cabinet. Should work. It's worked for the rest of the room. We'll try it with this thing. He's like, and he's hoping that the decanter will refill with rum.
So the one thing that you're very clear on here, as all of you are now separate in your own rooms, is that for the first time in a long time, things are quiet.
I wanted to talk to Clarissa at some point if she's in my room, because like I don't know who the fuck this girl is. Why she's in my room. So
she tells you that she's like, so I was with Hoot in another room, and he was on this stupid horse, and I was like, fuck that. And then I came into your room, and there's these bugs, and I was like, fuck, I'm down.
why do you talk so weird? You talk really weird.
Well, that's what I say. She looks at you. Wait a minute. You talk like me.
No, it's not. You got something wrong with you.
It's one of those many questions. Well, can I eat these bags?
No, they're my bugs.
She seems pretty put out and actually snarls a little snarl and kind of growls at you.
Do you want to go? Let's go.
This is the greatest conversation I've ever heard in my life.
She points her finger at you and she goes, "You got no idea, buddy. No idea."
I'm gonna eat a bunch of beetles
She backs out of the room
as she backs out.
and she heads down to Hoot's room, lets in. She's like, "Oh, finally, you got some bugs!" And you hear the door close.
Oh.
Oh my god.
All right. We are mid-voyage.
I just want to say, as soon as everybody left Gein's room, if there's a window or a mirror, Gein would have punched it.
A mirror appears,
Specifically to punch.
fist-shaped, a punching bag. One of those dolls, the wooden sparring dolls appears.
Oh no! I wanted a mirror. I want
Mirror
this-
appears,
I'm gonna punch it because I want this to hurt.
and it shatters. It doesn't hurt.
Then I
It doesn't cut you, and when the glass hits the floor, it kind of evaporates, and another mirror appears.
keep punching it until somebody stops me.
Goro puts his hand on your shoulder, and he says, "Gein, you're on a mission. What do we need to concentrate on here in Kozakura?"
She starts crying like a child.
Aww.
He flashes with anger, and he says, "Did I make a mistake sending you away? Did I make a mistake? Have I cost the life of your sister? Were you not the one to rescue her? Where is your spirit?" And he's kind of half pleading, half angry. And this is not what you usually see out of this guy. You can't remember being dressed down by him. But he seems almost desperate now. He says, "We have a place we need to go. Karathur is held up. He has your sister. Won't you avenge your sister, Gein?"
How loud is he yelling this?
Loud enough you can hear him. And the minute you want to hear him, you hear him
Oh, I want to hear him.
in Kozakuran. So,
I want to understand it, but I want to hear him.
do
I
you want to
translate.
understand it?
Yeah, I want to understand. I'm really mad that hands were put on me, so I want to know what's being said.
Oh, this is a conundrum.
Oh no.
You don't get a, you do not, you hear Kozakuran. You hear Kozakuran.
That's fine. I have a
Um,
translator.
Okay, so you hear Kozakuran.
Hmm.
But the boat furnishes walls that pass sound. Like the boat is here to do what you need to do to get whatever job it is you're going to get done. Right? This boat is a gift, and this gift is giving.
I've never seen or heard someone want to push someone towards something that quickly without any reason for it himself. That's
I mean, but
scary.
We don't know them. He could have a very good reason, and I've seen her. And I'm gonna drop my voice very low so nobody else can hear me.
I don't trust him.
I don't trust him either, but I mean, they have to have a reason for it. He's yelling very loudly. I mean, there's a reason.
Let's
You
just
could
watch
just
and
ask
listen
him.
for now. I mean, sure. That's doable.
I'm not going in there.
I'm not going in there either. I'm currently drinking rum, okay? Whiskey's for business. Rum is for after.
So we're just gonna sit and listen.
Okay. Bees, you get a feeling of dread. And it's emanating from where the prisoners are located. Geen.
okay.
For a moment, Goro half flashes to his raccoon dog form, and you see it's like all of his hair is bristling, and his attention turns towards the direction of the boat where the prisoners are.
It's
Something
only is it
wrong.
only B and Goro and who get that, or
Yeah, for now.
Rook will see me like tense up.
what's going on?
There's something wrong. There's something really wrong right now.
Okay,
It's coming from over there by the prisoners.
stay here. That's
Take
their
your
work.
sword.
As soon as that happened, a visible click occurs on Geen's face.
Which coincides screams coming from the dungeon section of the hold.
No emotion, nothing. Grabs my katana and just starts making for the sound.
Okay, Rook, you're already out the door. Geen is just a step in front of you. The two of you are heading. Rogar seems he's starting to sort of turn on his heel. He sort of came to find somebody, and now he's sort of lumbering down the stairs. Three of you are heading towards that. Bees and Runt, what are you doing?
I'm poking my head out the door, but I'm staying put because I was told to.
Okay,
I'm hoping for some action.
all right. The action you see is Bill Corum with two throat-cutting razors out. And he has slashed the throats of
Told you.
four
I fucking told you.
of the sailors. Blood is spewing forth from the jugulars, and it's spraying Bill Corum, and he is soaked red. And on one corner of the wall, you can see the blood is it's almost as the ship is trying to absorb it and trying to get rid of it, but it can't keep up with the flow. And there's a specific space, a shadow that's cast behind one of the prisoners. And Bill Corum said, "I'm really sorry it had to end like this." And you can see him where the blood is spattered against a wall, and he's covered in blood, and where the shadow has fallen. He steps into this bloody mist, and it's
Can I
almost
cast
as
hold
if
person?
You miss him, and he's gone.
Okay, well, if he had enough time to speak and say something, and I saw him doing it, I would have cast it right away. But all right,
Sure.
whatever. I'll try for it at least.
Try for it.
He has to make a wisdom. Wisdom saving throw of 14 or higher.
He slips. And you know exactly where he's going.
Yep.
I will allow you to turn to the group and tell them what you know.
Okay. So Rook is a little bit frustrated, and he starts talking about his time with the military in Carthor's employ. That's the one we're talking about, right? Because I've just lost my train of thought completely.
Well, I'll go at this another route, okay? And that is Geen. You were in a wagon with Kane as you dealt with the ravings of Uncle Burkle. Uncle Burkle screamed at one point, something to the effect of, and blood and shadow are the key. And that's where we'll stop.
Cliffhanger.
I lost my train of thought on what you were referring to, Tim, so I didn't know.
We'll pick it up next round. You guys have some plans to lay. We will see our little friend off, and we'll see how you plan to follow Bilk.
Oh boy. Little razor blade, frisky little dude.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, it's not as if one of your number didn't have his have him pegged. All right. Thank you very much. So with that, we're going to move towards the next episode, obviously. And I hope
I've hated him since the beach. The first beach.
As we head towards the end, why don't we contemplate who might earn a bean tonight?
It's time for the magic beans. Ho! It's time for the magic beans. Ha! Time for the magic. Time for the magic. Let's see who gets the magic beans.
So we're going to go in the same order as our introductions. We are going to take Shady, then Luna, then Becca, then Noelle. And let's, you can just say if you found there was a moment that was inspiring and where you'd like to throw your bean. Who you'd like to put your bean behind. You're behind beaned.
I want to give mine to Geen for her Rage Against the Machine, grunge, I Hate the World.
The Rage Against the McGeen.
yeah. I really liked all of her anger because it's well founded.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to keep track here, and Luna.
I'm giving mine to Runt for having some sort of comedic element to this super intense session while I drink the rest of this.
All right.
You should have let me kill him.
Becca.
I said
You had it.
that you had an open door.
I'm giving it to Rook because nerding out on a ship was just like the bane of my existence, yet completely hilarious.
Okay. Sounds good. And Noelle.
All right. I have to give mine to I'm gonna give mine to Runt because while we were worried about everyone else, she was like, where's the booze and how much of this can I drink in the amount of time until someone finds me?
Celebration.
Right. Priorities.
As we wait for the Twitch poll to go in, one word answer. What is the first question you want answered when we hit the next round? One word. Each, quickly across the table.
Why?
Goro.
Bilk.
Goro.
Goro, Bilk, why, Bilk. Goro, Bilk, why.
Well, my Y is related to Bilk.
Bilk, Goro, Goro.
Bilk, Goro. There we go.
Okay.
Who are these people?
What's just happening?
And our friendly Twitch viewers have said that it's going to be Rook to receive the bean tonight. And I don't have any other
Come on.
information besides that, but I'm sure they agree with all of you, the nerding out. So here we go. Bees, you are sitting at a +7. Geen, you have inspiration +2. Runt, you have inspiration +6.
Holy mackerel.
Rook, you are at 9.
All right.
Okay. As we head into the next round. So thank you all very much. And we look forward to seeing you in the next session. So thanks so much. I hope you are safe and having a
Happy
safe
New Year.
time. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We can do it.
And I probably should have given us some warning for some out. But anyway.